It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Muriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Get in the building.
Yo. Good morning. Good morning.
Your outfit is very glamorous, very elegant.
Thank you. I'm going to a party.
Oh, yeah, obviously. You look very, I wish you could stand up, but no, maybe after the show, we'll take a picture. Your shoes are speaking. In fact, they are shouting. YK. It shall take it easy. Stop putting us under pressure.
You know, I don't have much time to be... Before I have to wear slippers. Right now I'm
so you want to quickly wear it?
Wear shoe.
Want to wear everything?
I should. Let me enjoy now while I still have power.
Yes. Okay, it's good. Good to have you.
Are you comfortable?
Very wicked.
YK has been cinched.
I'm telling you.
She can hardly move.
I just asked a question. I wanted
to you to talk about your cinching. But is this scarf covering the cinch?
No, this scarf is covering the cleavage.
Yeah. Because I wanted
to know. Get love letter from NBC.
Okay, so it's covering the cleavage.
But the blouse is covering the cinch. That cinch is... I
don't know, is it a new kind of cinching? Is it a new kind of cinching?
They'll
roll you first before you now wear the cloth on you.
I roll myself.
Mm-hmm. Those ones that you drag and...
and then you cinch yourself. Sorry. I'm like this.
Please, who do you want to impress today now?
I don't understand.
You don't even understand.
At 63, who are you impressing? Just as long as you can breathe and eat, you're okay.
Can you eat? I doubt.
Hey,
you can't eat
a packet of plantain chips.
You're already feeling it.
In fact, I shouldn't have even touched it.
Okay, let me come to Nima. How you doing?
Nima is looking at
Kanika is looking at what is your problem?
No, she just said that she cannot be wearing flat slippers. When we children, we are already wearing flat slippers because we can't stand on heels. You are still standing on heels and you are saying it's a short time before you start wearing flat slippers.
Oh, goodness.
So I wanted to ask Nigerian police why they don't want to upgrade tech-wise. So I use a dealer number for my husband's business to drive my car. And whenever I'm going out, they will say, okay, where's your dealer number? I was okay, I don't have it because once when I started using it, I was attempted robbery, and my husband was like, you had that all the documents because I was freshly new then. That car is gone. There's no way to trace it, so I stopped carrying it around. So I take a picture. I have it on my phone. I'm the one that renews it annually. Police, I have it on my phone. I don't want to see your phone.
They should stop that.
I cannot see your phone. I said, why won't you see my phone? So if you don't have the power to verify that the dealer number is current, or that my driver's license is also not fake. Why are you asking for it?
Yeah.
If that means you're not the office enabled to do it. You remember that I had an accident where VIO was able to trace the car plate number to Kanu.
Yeah.
They are enabled to verify any document any Nigerian is holding. So if you cannot verify something, why are you asking for it? And why are you saying you don't want to see it on the phone?
Is it not the same information?
You will say it's not.
You don't even know what you are looking for.
Just you see people's time.
I beg, we need to upgrade.
How are you doing?
I don't know why all these network providers are between them and the banks. I don't know who is defrauding me and who is chopping my money. I will load data. I will not see it. It will not reflect. My money will leave the account. I will call the bank. The bank will say we are giving it to them. I'll call them. They will say they did not get the credit. I've been going back and forth between. I don't want to mention the banks and the network providers, but all of them are doing the same thing. All the banks and all the network providers. I don't know what did we do to them. They are just taking our money.
Maybe I told you this bound that they debited me 25,000, 25,000 for POS.
Anyways, I have to wrap up. Please, all your complaints. No, I'm wearing House of BC. I'm wearing House of BC. I was at your store yesterday.
House of BC?
Yes, I picked it out yesterday. Thank you.
I was going to tell you I love the Ashoke in front.
It's House of BC. And I'm going, my family member, Yemisi Fuja, is getting married today. Congratulations to my cousin.
Congratulations.
Are you going?
Yeah, by God's grace. We'll see how God goes. Let's go after Kanchi, of course. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Senate's House agreement raises student loan to 10 billion naira. NLC strike fails to hold in Imo. Power Minister threatens discos, Gencos with license revocation. Survey projects Uzodima's victory with 68%. Emefiele out of custody after securing bail. Old new notes remain legal tender, CBN reaffirms. And bandits took 250 million naira ransom to free 121 Baptist school pupils. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Start with the discourse. The Minister for Power, of course, Ms. Adebayo Adelabu, yesterday said that all discos and gencos must now sign a performance bond with the government. This is because, according to him, they failed to live up to the agreement and he has not seen productivity on their side. He said that this will now make them liable to revocation of their licenses. Apparently, their licenses are renewable every 5 years unilaterally by the NERC, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. He said, but before that will happen now, there must be a performance bond, the assessment of each of them, discos and gencos, and failure to meet up to standard, they just might have that revocation happening. I'm hoping that, of course, we see that happening so that we'll see them competing to be best performer.
So the Central Bank of Nigeria yesterday said that all Naira denominations remain legal tender, and they have directed their branches to continue issuing adequate quantities of both the old and the new redesigned notes. So the CBN, in a statement by the Director of Corporate Communications, Dr. Issa Abdulhamid, said that their attention had been drawn to reports of a scarcity of cash across some major cities in the country, despite assurances of sufficient cash stock in all locations across the country. There have also been reports of anxiety among some members of the public over the legality or otherwise of the old Naira notes. So for the avoidance of doubts, they are reiterating again that there are sufficient banknotes across the country that will be enough for us to carry out our economic activities. And so nobody should reject any legal tender as long as it's been okayed by the CBN, whether the new or the old legal tender is still legal. And people should go about doing their businesses. There's no need to have any form of anxiety. The money still remains and we must use it.
Okay, let me take the major headlines. So yesterday, after harmonizing the 2.17 trillion Naira supplementary budget, the Senate and House of Representatives have raised the student loan appropriation to 10 billion Naira. The president had signed out the bill yesterday. He assured Nigerians after signing the budget into law yesterday that it will be judiciously utilized. The House had transferred the 5 billion Naira for the yacht that was originally allocated to the student loan. But my worry, however, is that the Navy has taken, they've received the yacht back in June. They've taken, is it custody of, they've received the yacht already. So the Navy said it had taken delivery, actually, that's what I was looking for. Taken delivery of the vessel, but had not paid for it due to cash constraints. I don't know how they plan to pay for that.
Should they return it?
It was the yacht that's been delivered since June and was appropriated from the previous administration. So wasn't from this.
But that's a luxury.
They can return it.
It's not luxury.
No, that's
they keep
what
telling
they
us
said
not a
in
luxury yacht. They keep saying us it's for operational use.
No, this
Which
article I have
operation?
here, the Senate is saying that they are going to probe the purchase of the 5 billion presidential yacht, and they were wondering how they got, because of the, the way it has raised controversy all over. Nigerians are really upset about it, and they are saying they are going to find out why exactly they had, agreed to get this luxury yacht at the moment.
I don't even know where
How
they are
was
going
it
to see.
a luxury item can find its way into the supplementary budget?
Okay, so which paper is that?
Vanguard?
Okay, so from the Nation, is saying that the naval equipment has said the presidential is not a luxury item, and I think they said that repeatedly because they call it a presidential yacht. Doesn't mean it's presidential.
Yacht
or
is
it-
luxury, right?
Well,
Who takes a yacht if you're not rich? It's
Anyway,
luxury.
I would like to take the bandits that collected 250 million ransom for the Baptist pupils. The governor, Obasani, has received the kidnapped boy, Treasure Ayuba. He escaped from the bandits. He was amongst the Baptist school boys. They released 120 of them and didn't release him. The Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State Chapter, said the bandits took over 250 million ransom to free the 120, but refused to release Treasure. So 2 years and 4 months later, he escaped from them and found his way home. So I'm very happy for him. The governor has said that he's going to give him psychological treatment to address the trauma he must have gone through while in captivity. He needs it, too.
He needs it.
He needs it.
Okay, moving on now to the Punch. Off-season polls, electronic collation illegal, says INEC, police wants NLC. Picture here, Obi faults Tinubu's 2.17 trillion naira supplementary budget. UK police probe suicide of British-born Nigerian. FG stops electricity tariff hike, insists on subsidy. Old banknote remains legal tender, says CBN. $51 billion debt, FG rules dwindling revenue, reps condemn needless loans and contracts. And NPAN returns Kabiru as president, and Emua joins as UNESCO. Okay, story?
Okay, I have the major headline. The chief press secretary to INEC, to the INEC chairman, his name is Rotimi Oyekomi, said he's making clarification to correspondence about IREV and BVAS. He says that it is not legal for election results to be collated by IREV to be uploaded. He said what is done is that the form, let me get the form again quickly. So this is in anticipation of the Saturday's elections for Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa State. It says that form EC8, that's the form for each collation, EC8A, will be snapped and uploaded on INEC. Polling unit election results, also known as form EC8, will be uploaded directly to INEC result viewing portal, which is IREV, from individual polling units by the presiding officers across. But this is not a declaration of results. The provision of the Constitution under 179 provides how a person will be declared winner. So BVAS is also to verify a person's voting ability, but not collate the final results. So to be sure, electronic voting or collation of results is illegal in Nigeria at the moment. All that the IREV portal does is just to display from EC8A uploaded from polling units. And the process of determining and declaring a winner of a governorship election is as provided for in 179, section 179 and all the subsections of the 1999 Constitution. And he said that also they have their logistics tied down. They have partners with private car owners, private individuals, as well as all members of the NURTW in all for logistics. He said that they will fulfill all their obligations as expected and according to other parties. He also used the opportunity to call on the Labour not to intimidate anybody during these elections. And I hope that what he's saying is sinking in, following all court processes as well.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Okay, so let me take the story. So Peter Obi, exercising his right as an opposition, has faulted the president's 2.17 trillion supplementary budget. According to him, he claimed in a statement that the president failed to consider certain emergencies and pressing needs of the country. He also noted that the manner the budgetary allocations were done, it was obvious the president was unaware of the dire crisis in the country. And if you recall, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives yesterday had, with the President, assented to the bill. But Gudu has specifically said that over 600 billion of the supplementary budget was allocated specifically for the defense of the country. So I think that's going to be going to the Nigerian, to the Defense Department, according to Bagudu. And many allocations were also done. But Peter Obi was saying that a lot wasn't considered in the passing of that bill for the next budgetary allocation.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to take the story about the British-born Nigerian that committed suicide. The British police have said that they are going to investigate her death. She jumped in front of a moving train because apparently, according to her parents, her boyfriend was blackmailing her. The father said he had sent her £100,000 for an investment that they were going to do. And he hacked into her phone when she was sleeping, got some documents, and then started to blackmail her. And she agreed to pay him what he wanted. And 4 hours later, she jumped in front of a moving train.
Hey.
Police have said that they will investigate. Her parents were saying the police were not really doing anything. They had just taken his statement, taken her mother's statement, and
he was
left
still on the
it.
loose. He hadn't arrested him.
So hopefully she will get justice.
Yeah, still on the suicide story, a septuagenarian, a mother of 9 children, who was described by the neighbors as a devout Catholic faithful, also committed suicide by hanging in her residence at Enamijewa Street off Warri Saple Road, Warri South local government area. Said it happened at the early hours of Monday, November 6th. And, you know, all the residents have been feeling really bad, been thrown into mourning. And according to the witnesses, they said that she hung herself with her wrapper in their public toilet, and it was one of the grandchildren that saw her and raised an alarm. And they said she had, you know, mentioned that she was going to take her life a few times before, threatened to, you know, drink poisonous things, but that didn't work till she found her way into the toilet and then hanged herself. And I was a bit worried for the little child who probably have seen the grandmother hanging, you know, as it's going to be very traumatic for that child and the other children who are in that environment. And I know that this is a mental health issue, but even at that, we also need to consider other people around us. If this sort of thing, if you're thinking about this sort of thing, how would it affect and impact your family members?
Moving on now to Vanguard. Exchange rate and NECA experts disagree on federal government's target. Senate to probe purchase of $5 billion yacht. Daily Trust publisher Kabiru Yusuf returns as NPN president. What Buhari's ex-ministers are saying about him, says Kuka. Bill, ex-CBN governor Emefiele arrives home after 151 days in detention. And old new Naira notes remain legal tender, says CBN. Okay. Story?
So, okay. The organized labor said they will be grounding Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja today as part of their protest against the Imo State government. The General Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Emmanuel Ubuaja, was the one who described yesterday's strike in Imo as fairly successful. And he says Labour will not rest until the international community investigates Governor Hope Uzodinma. He said for a matter that people had barely 6 hours to comprehend, it was fair in the circumstance. The strike is on. The clown became panicky and declared tomorrow, today, and Friday public holidays, so nothing is going on in Imo. Also says tomorrow we'll be having action at Abuja and Lagos airports. We'll take over the airport access. There is no lights in Imo. Everything is on holiday because of an evil man who is trying to force himself on the people. Now I'm wondering why it seems like the NLC is very particular about this governorship elections, and people are saying that this is showing too much interest in politics. NLC is supposed to be a body that for the people, that fights for the people, but the interest in this is what we want, this is how we're going to enforce it. I have a sister-in-law in Imo. She chatted me yesterday that nothing is happening. They don't have lights. It's total blackout in Imo. They can't even move around freely. It's not what we should be hearing now.
I have the major headline in the Vanguard. So the special advisor to the president on economic matters, Dr. Tokwe Fasha, was representing the vice president, Kashim Shettima, at the Cowries Cash Lecture and Launch in Abuja on Tuesday. And he hinted that the federal government plans to shop the value of the Naira. So he also used the opportunity to issue warning to Nigerians who were holding currencies with the hope that Naira will continue to fall, that with the new policies that they are bringing on, Naira will continue to add value, and that so your dollars over holding will not favor them. But NECA, that's the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, has said that their own is they should disclose and make clear whatever policies that they are working on. They should bring it out to the open. Also, they should focus on production and address the nation's propensity to import, because, you know, of course, that's our people's way of things. And they should make the fiscal and monetary policy authorities work in sync, among other things. So they were also happy that they are working out to get the Naira to be at par with the dollar, but they should do things properly and make it an open thing.
Okay. Moving on now to Daily Sun. I didn't even see Daily Sun. Did you guys see it?
So it's your
Interesting. Daily Sun. Okay, okay, yes.
no.
No, it was Vanguard you took. Did you take your story from?
Okay. Kuka exposes Buhari's ex-aides. Imo election poll favor Governor Uzodinma to win by 68%. PDP must address cause of Obi's exit and failure at polls. Imo, Labour to ground Abuja. Lagos Airport says no going back. LASU removes Dean of Student Affairs after certificate racketeering. Nigeria discovers new crude oil grade. And NPAN elects new EXCO, returns Yusuf as chairman. Okay.
So LASU has, you know, I'm still following the story since all these days. LASU have taken action. They've removed the Dean of Student Affairs, Professor Tajuddin Olumoko, because, of course, his alleged involvement in the racketeering of certificates that happened in the school. That online publication implicated him. They've also asked him to explain, you know, any involvement or absorb himself of any involvement in that scam. They're giving him a query for that. They've also appointed, in acting capacity, Professor Dr. Biodun Fatai, who is of the Department of Political Science, as acting Dean Student Affairs, starting yesterday as well. I'm hoping that they settle this thing quickly as soon as possible.
Okay. Go ahead, Raike.
Yeah, the former national vice chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Olabode George, has expressed fears that the party may go down like the All Nigeria People's Party. He says if the PDP doesn't get its act together, they will go down. He said they should find the reason why, they should solve the problem for why Peter Obi and Rabiu Kokwanso left the party. That if they had been together, that no other party would have come close to them, you know. So they need to address that, or the party is just going to disintegrate.
They served the party. They served the presidency to President Tinubu on the platter of gold.
Because if they had stayed together, they
just handed it over to him. So going back to the probe that Bisi said earlier, I took that story since you're taking my story. So the Senate, as you said correctly, the Senate said that they're going to be probing the purchase of the $5 billion presidential yacht and the circumstances surrounding it. And according to Senator Gbenga Daniel of APC, he was saying that the procurement has generated lots of controversy. And I wanted to take that story because according to what they said, he said many Nigerians have voiced their concerns. So he's speaking according to what Nigerians are saying. Voiced their concerns and criticism, with a significant number expressing displeasure about how such a luxury item can find its way. So that's what people's perception are. But what their own response is that, given the conflicting, contradictory reports regarding the yachts, we have identified the need for thorough investigation. So when I went online to go and check, what's the definition of yacht? Yacht is not necessarily a luxury. Yacht is a sailing or power vessel used for pleasure, cruising, or racing. So it could be cruising, and the Navy can use to cruise, whatever it is.
Do we exactly? Do we need it?
It's not luxury.
It's luxury.
So, the word luxury,
Cruising
what I wanted to address.
Pleasure is luxury.
So, no, not all the time. It's important for us to educate Nigerians, because the dictionary is here. Because
there's no gun on it.
Wait.
Pleasure is luxury.
We can discuss and define it, but it's important for us to explain. Let Nigeria, because Nigerians just says, oh, they want the luxury yacht for the president, and if we don't give Nigerians proper information, they will continue to be thinking, oh, they wanted to give the president luxury. It's not a luxury yacht, according to what the definition of yacht is. Yacht is saying here, it is a sailing power vessel used for pleasure.
Pleasure now.
Cruising.
Pleasure. How many Nigerians can have pleasure right now?
Navy can do luxury. They can do pleasure now.
Wow, that's luxury. We're saying this.
Let me define
Nigerians are not wrong.
Please, they define cruising.
The action of sailing about in an area without a precise destination.
Back down.
Especially
Or maybe
for pleasure.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Nigerians are right.
No problem. Let's move on. But not always right. Nigerians are always right. And we have to always correct them.
In this matter, yes. In this matter.
This is okay. All right. Move any other story.
No destination, no.
Just cruise.
They should be there.
So if you don't believe in the Nigerian Navy, Navy have told us that it's an operational vessel. Why are we having a difficulty in accepting and understanding? Because we rather believe and accept the American vessel tell you something else.
No.
You don't believe the Nigerian.
No, we don't have a problem with the yacht, right? But do we need it now?
It has been delivered in June. I hope you know that.
All this English are speaking. We don't have money to pay.
has been
And we
delivered.
don't have money to pay. We
They
have
should
not
return
bought
it.
it on credit.
That is all we can take. What time is it? Sorry, Nima, you're not talking.
I don't know what.
You're not. You're not helping
or
me.
against my
You're not helping me in this matter.
Help Mariah.
All right. That is all we can take on Front Page Review and Return. It's Thursday. Because our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So it's Thursday, and on today's show, we just like to discuss family, lifestyle, marriage, and all sorts. But today, a video went viral about a lecturer in Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, who assaulted a student for refusing to switch off her phone while in class. In the video, the lecturer, Dr. Ariyo, of the Department of Electrical Engineering, could be heard saying, "You can't be more than me," then forcefully took the phone and pushed the student. What are your thoughts on this? There are many sides to this story, and we'd like to discuss it because in every situation like this, we like to take some learnings from it and see if we can find a way to address certain issues we have in our society. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweets. All right, so as I said, there are many angles to this story. The fact that, first of all, another student was recording, that in itself is there. The fact that he assaulted a student, the fact that she disobeyed her lecturer, the fact that there was a bit of aggression in his voice. And what are your own general thoughts? Because many of us are somewhat familiar with how we revere our lecturers and our professors and how modern day students, this new world, this new generation, see things differently. They're not like us. How we used to be so scared of our lecturers. It's actually a guy. I thought it was a woman. It's actually a guy. So he was insisting that he should switch off the phone in the class, and he refused. And obviously, he forcefully took it off and pushed him out. All right, so that's the recording. Who'd like to start with? Nima, I want to start. Yeah.
So this student obviously was seen in the video upsetting and disrupting class activities. So we cannot even absorb. 2 wrongs certainly happened there. If I were the boy, I would sue that lecturer for assault. But most likely, you will have it reduced to the barest minimum. Why is that? You were not really sitting down minding your own business when the lecturer just came on to you. He has authority in his classroom. Once a lecturer comes in, he has authority in his classroom. How many minutes will you use to switch off a phone? Now, one be this, switch it off now. How many minutes? He asked, switch off your phone, probably because it was causing a distraction, or maybe he saw he was, engrossed on the phone. He must take authority of his classroom. And when the boy refused, he would have allowed him just walk out. Insisting that you must do it right here, right now, shows that lecturer himself has some priority issue. Yeah. And to take it so far as to jump on him and still knock the head towards the ending, it was overdue for both of them. Overdue, both wrongs.
Yeah. So I agree with you on the part that the lecturer actually assaulted the student. And I know that, when you are a classroom teacher, a lecturer, you must do what they call housekeeping. And where there's no law, there's no sin. What I would like to understand, what is the housekeeping for the classroom? What are the laws? Are there laws that from the beginning of the session, you know that you're not permitted to come in with your phones, or the law just came about, or, he just saw it and decided that you should take out your phone immediately? And I also understand that we are in the 21st century right now. Most of the things we do, especially with these young ones, are done online. We are here sitting down.
I have to pause you, BC. I'm told your mic is off. Okay, what are your thoughts before I go on a break? Your thoughts on this?
You better just go on a break and do her.
Okay, let's
I was
go.
really listening to what she was saying.
Let me go on a break. When you come back, we'll try to continue the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing about the lecturer who assaulted the students at OAU. Before I come back to you, BC, it's important for me to mention that the public relations officer of the university, Mr. Abiodun Olanrewaju, has condemned the action of the lecturer and said the probe towards the matter has begun. According to Olanrewaju, he said, we have seen the video. The vice-chancellor is not happy about it. We are not known for such behavior, and we have decided to go the administrative concerning this, and we will make our findings known. But for the meantime, we just want the students to remain calm, and the VC has called the dean of faculty involved, who will get in touch with head of department and then have this investigated, just so that we know that the matter is being investigated and by the school.
So that's awesome. So, you know, Nima had earlier established that both of them were wrong, which I absolutely agree with. There was a case of assault, a case of rudeness, and both of them did not handle themselves properly. We've agreed on that. But I was saying that in situations like this, one of the ways that you're able to manage your class effectively is to have rules from the beginning of the session. If you don't want any form of phones to be used in your classroom, it's something that you make as a rule. Before you enter my class, we're not doing this, these are the rules for the session. And anybody who violates the rule, there's also a way to handle it instead of that physical altercation. Because what makes you a good classroom manager, whether you're teaching in secondary school or your university, is your ability not to lose your cool when the students are misbehaving. Students will always misbehaving. And part of the training you get to as a teacher and a lecturer is your ability to control the students and not, you know, go hysterical when they are misbehaving. You are supposed to be the wisest person in that classroom to maintain that order. So he was just, you know, it was an ego sort of clash. You cannot be more than me. And also, I remember when we were in the universities, the lecturers so oppressed us. It was not something we were proud to say. The lecturer would tell you, I will fail you because you cannot have A in my class. Not for anything, just because he did not have A when he was doing his own study. He would tell you that in this course, you can never have an A. No matter how bright you think you are, please sit down, you cannot have an A. There were a lot of oppressions that we went through in the universities, but this younger generation, they are not taking that anymore. Times have changed. People, I said on this show here, none of us have a paper and pen. Once in a while, we'll come with it, but most of the time, we do all of our work on the phone. So she could have her notes on the phone, or I don't know if it's a female.
If it's a him.
Yes, and
it looked like a female.
Yes, with the
hair. From the reports here, it's a him, yeah.
Yeah. He could have information on the phone and trying to take notes. But if those rules were established at the beginning, he would know that in his class, so I'll just go with my pen and my paper and I'll be...
So based on this case, because we're gonna pack this case very soon. I mean, once we address it, we'll try to link it up to other matters. But in this case in particular, the young man tried to come into around that 10, according to the report here in Punch. He walked into the class, he was the wrong class. It actually wasn't his class. Oh. So he got into that class and he realized, he saw the student's face, he realized, this is not my class, he now walked out. The lecturer called him back to come in, going back and forth, as in, what are you doing here? Are you late for my class? That kind of whatever. And then the altercation started and they called in the security and the man told him he now wanted to make a call. Oh. So obviously, the lecturer obviously had something brewing in him. So he only probably lashed out on this younger because what happened shouldn't have resulted in this kind of altercation. However, it seems that the lecturer already had something already bottled up in him and he just used that young boy just came in at the wrong time and he just vented on him.
You know, anything could have been disturbing him.
Yes.
Anything could have been. It could have been health issues, marital issues, children issues, and that guy just
walked into it.
Rubbed him up the wrong way. I still think the guy should have obeyed him. I also think the lecturer reacted, you know. So, like Nima said, two wrongs don't make it right.
Yeah.
As for whether they are taking notes on their phones, Nigeria is not really in the 21st century. You know, we don't have lights. People who are in the 21st century have lights. You know, so we can't...
So which century are we in?
Well, you see, it's the resilience our system gives us here that somewhat helps us when we go abroad. It's those ones that they'll tell you how they were writing their homeworks on that candle, how they were studying. I was telling you when I did my own exam, when I was trying to do my law exam. I rushed to school because in my head, you cram all the law, all the references in your head. You put all the section by section, you cram it all. And I entered the exam hall. And my lecturer was wondering, excuse me, where's your law book? Everybody opened their book. I'm like, they don't want me to cram. I had to go back to my hostel with the bus rush and pick up my logbook and put to the exam hall because they don't expect you to cram it in your head. So it's a different solution. So no, the point is that the resilience I learned in Nigeria, where you have to store it and download, is what part of what also helped me. So
it worked for you.
It worked for me. The point I'm trying to make is some of this resilience we shy away from today, the writing notes, the taking it easy, copy down and replay. Those things help you. Help you in future. Yes, we are not, and we shouldn't rush it, YK. Because many of us who are middle class, who have seen, Mauritius, we've seen London, we've seen everything, and when I come back, we want it to be exactly as it is here. We're not there. Let us go at our pace.
So you opened an issue.
Let me not digress.
Let me
not digress. No, you see, but Baba Suraji doesn't know. He doesn't care. He wants food. He wants shelter. He doesn't need your luxury lifestyle. He needs to be allowed to have a decent life.
But Baba Suraji, if you give Baba Suraji opportunity to jackpah,
no,
he will jackpah.
He might go there. Baba Suraji will go there.
I was in the car with the driver the other day. So I was saying, see you, Mr. Taiwo, if you get a visa now, you will jackpah. Only Munlo.
Because his mentality is I get there and I begin to pick money.
All of them have the mentality. So Nima, please, let's not digress.
I started a major issue with this, the facts right.
Yes.
So according to you, what you just said,
yes,
the boy was in the wrong class.
Yes.
And he wanted to step out of class, but the lecturer decided, come back here because of this.
Yes.
Whatever the lecturer is going through, most of us who schooled in Nigerian universities experience these things.
Yeah.
Till you graduate, you cannot pinpoint what you did to offend a particular lecturer.
Yes,
I once accompanied a student in the university to beg a lecturer. This was a bright young boy. In fact, his project, he worked so hard, hoping to please a lecturer who said, not in my lifetime will somebody have an A in this course.
Wow, plenty of them.
Why would that be? Why is it your own goal that your children, the youth of tomorrow, I mean, what they call it, the young shall not grow in your own before? It was too rampant. And in my before, when we knelt down to beg, he said, you bought somebody that's covering hijab to come and beg. Go, what did your ancestors do? That is what you will do and die. And I said proudly to myself, okay, my own ancestors were farmers, and they were rich and wealthy for it. What are you doing now? Some lecturers bring their personal problems to an adult business because university education is for matured adults.
Thank you.
Yes.
If you are not ready to face an adult, get out of the business. Go and start your small shop and be loading and be saying you cannot be more than customers.
Or go to primary school. Or go to primary and secondary school.
You are not even fit for a primary school.
I'll be shouting at
because
customers.
another business, you need another psyche for that.
Sweetheart.
Why can't you, as a lecturer, accept that these young people will bring better solutions your generations have failed to do?
Yes.
Okay, let me pause you for a second. I have a Larry Waju to hold it for a minute. Good morning, Larry Waju.
Carry your personal problem to
Your life. Sorry for keeping you.
This morning, for keeping me waiting for
I'm
long.
so sorry. I'm so sorry, sir.
Yeah. I want to make point to yesterday's program before I contribute to this morning, if that is okay, please.
It's your view. Let it count.
Yeah. Yesterday, Nima, I'm sorry. I'm not making it personal to you about said you.
I don't think we should
no
take
right
this
to
call.
contribute.
I think we don't. I'm not sure we want to go back.
Contribute to what is going.
Thank you very much, Mr. Larry. I certainly apologize. I don't want us to go back to that topic. Let's move on now.
Yeah.
Yes, BC.
Yes, so I just liked how Nima just carried us to the crux of the matter. You know, when a Nigerian has a table and a chair, he becomes an authority. That's exactly what plays out. And it played out so much in the universities that there were boys who were, made to do years instead of them to have graduated because they were liking or they were dating a girl a lecturer liked. They were frustrated.
That really happened.
In fact, there was a guy in my class that was liking me. He would skip seats for me. After a while, he called me and said, a particular lecturer called him and said, if you ever near that girl again. The lecturer did not even come and toast me at the end of the day, but he just made sure if you ever, I will fail you. I will keep you in this school. He told me, Biko, I will not keep seats for you again. Stay in your front. I will go somewhere to the back. So it's something that we were it became a part of us. We're used to it. So you hide yourself. I hid myself so much so. And do you know how I hid myself in the university? I would stay in front of the class. I was very tiny, gengele, gengele. They were liking fatter people at the time. So God saved me with my stature at the time. So I would stay in front of the class. It was from 300 level to 400 level that they started noticing me. So they would see my scores on the board, like, who is this BC girl in political science? Who is this BC girl in political science? Till 300 and 400 level, when they now knew my face. A few
Now
of them.
bloomed.
And I bloomed. And then one lecturer told me, so this is how you will graduate from this department. We will not know you. I said, but I know you, sir. In front of the whole class, he stood me up. We will not know you. I said, but you know me, sir. I said, keep my shot. I understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So we will not know you in this department. I bought ring and engaged myself till I finished school because of that. So that saved me. So this issue of you have your own issues.
Personal issues.
If you cannot regulate your emotion, you are not fit to be a lecturer. You are not fit to be a teacher. You are there as an example. You must regulate. It's like when your child is throwing tantrum on the floor, your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, you as a parent, you now lie down and be throwing your own tantrum too. Who will now solve the matter? So you must learn to regulate. And this issue of, I have issues, that's why I'm transferring aggression. Even if you are doing your own business, you cannot talk to your customers anyhow. They will leave that market.
It's your business that will spoil.
Your business will spoil. So
It's
you
your
know
business
that.
that
You are
will take
doing
your personal
another person's
business.
work. You cannot.
Let me take this call.
Okay, take your.
Bolu, thanks for calling. You're live.
Thank you so much, my view. I really enjoy your program.
Thank you, Bolu.
All the time. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job.
Thank
to
you.
all the mommies and aunties in the house. Okay, so concerning the topic you're shooting this morning, I'm actually a victim. Before I enter engineering school, I went to various practical class. So I was good in programming. So on the level, when we resumed, the particular lecture was handling programming. So that very day, he asked various students to come and solve a particular problem. So they were not able. So he actually pointed to me that, you, come here. I didn't stand up. So I went to the board. Behold, the question is solved earlier on. The output he got was wrong. So I just started from the beginning and I stopped everything. The whole class was hailing me and stuff like that. Do you know that is the beginning of my problem?
You go and show lecturer and say you know book.
You failed me.
Test superiority.
In fact, me that was teaching students, and the students I was teaching will get 5. They will have A, I will have 1. Then, at last, this man, in my final exam, he came to the class. He saw someone throw a piece of paper from my back that landed on my chair. He saw it that they threw it from the back. This man asked me to stand up, that I was the owner of the paper. I said, no. I said, check my booklet. I don't have such a thing. Check what is written in the paper. I don't have such a thing in my answers. He said, no. He took me to the security. Did you know I faced panel? I almost got rusticated.
Wow.
Do you know that the Senate sat on this issue? But that very day, they said that was the first time the Senate has to cancel all students that is having issue, examination or whatever. I was being rusticated.
God saved you.
Thank you very much, Tolu, for sharing your...
I want to take this comment from Oladidi. It says, the contributions have been skewed in favor of the student. This is not sexual harassment, but about a rude student.
I disagree. Morel just put new facts out there.
Real facts.
So we initially started that both sides were wrong.
Yeah.
The student was rude. But new facts showed that he mistakenly entered the wrong classroom.
Yeah.
And noticing that he was in the wrong classroom, he wanted to slide out. It's a university. You have lecture halls bigger than anything.
Yeah.
I remember those days, all of us used to stroll to SLA. Even though other level students were the ones having courses, sometimes students borrowing courses to do 101 law would be in the faculty. They would be everywhere. You have diploma classes students. You can come into a classroom unexpected, thinking it's your class.
Yes.
The right thing is when you go in, you go out. But somebody now say you cannot go out until you have conformed with all the rules here. And bring his personal grievances, his lack of control of his anger, his lack of maturity into a classroom and say that in a university, a student cannot go. Sometimes I was in classroom with lawmakers.
From that altercation, listen, from that altercation, I didn't see any sign that it was a wrong class he went into.
No. So based on what we have, he went into the wrong class. Now, what caused the altercation? Because the truth is, so where the student may have been guilty is maybe when the lecturer maybe just harassing him, he now responds. You know, when the lecturer sometimes harass you, you just take the harassment and just move on. I beg this one, I don't want your trouble. But it's possible this boy responded and he didn't like the response the boy gave him, and that's what started the back and forth. Because it was that back and forth that led to you. Do you know who I am? Do you think are you more than me?
No, let me.
You see those statements are indictive. Wait. Yeah. Let's even stick to the video we saw.
Yes.
The boy was trying to, they were at the entrance of the class, trying to get out. Yes. The lecturer was blocking him at every point. Switch off that phone, switch off that phone. I thought it was about his phone.
Me too.
So immediately I said, this boy, you said switch off phone. Now, how hard can he be?
Yes.
He was being rude according to me. But the moment the facts came out that he was in the wrong class and trying to leave, why was the lecturer blocking his leaving?
You should have.
He's not your student. Your business is to lecture and leave.
Lecture your student.
In those days, I had one lecturer in 300 level when we did law of thoughts. The whole of LASU know that lecturer because he was very Nigerian. That's how I'll put it. And whenever the man is talking, my classmates will be busy, will be laughing. I had heard about the man from previous sets that whenever that man is joking, that's when your exam questions are formed. Whenever he's acting funny, he's speaking in Nigerian accent.
He wants to give you.
That's when your questions are formed. That's when you should notice whatever that man was saying. So me, I lost ability to smile at anything funny that man said. I will focus until our first semester results came out. All of the people laughing, stop laughing. Second semester, we don't get sense. Because yes, the man will just be there. No matter how ridiculous we saw him, we were laughing, he'll be lecturing. No matter how funny we were, this man will not flinch like this. He will be lecturing, he will mind his business. That's what a lecturer does. Because students will be students. But
isn't that counterproductive?
Counterproductive.
When your children
when you can adults, you come to school to learn. You are busy laughing.
So lecturing really is supposed to be engaging. Because the style we have here is just, you'll be talking to the world.
But you find it so funny, you thought you were at a comedy show. You are rolling on the floor, law student. A 4-unit course.
Okay, let me take this call. Geshinde. Good morning, Geshinde. Very interesting name.
Good morning, how are you?
Yes. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I want to contribute to the issue of grant. You know, every one of us went to university, and definitely that that's a rule. And you know, of recent times, how the student behaves. I was a former lecturer before I crossed to administrator. I retired as a permanent secretary in quality civil service. The old students, you know them. Well, we are one of them, but they take songs to their hand, even in class. Sometimes when you are lecturing in the class, you will see them holding phone. Even like I talk English, they will be looking for, when you give them a definition or give them a topic, and you are giving them the meaning of it, they'll be looking for, they look at the phone, even within them. That is very bad. What something that we need to do that, we need to, I like the way Iman is talking, but let us have it in mind that they are our children, and they need to be cautioned. Because this class, because that's why there's a lot of biases in the university or some schools that, because they say that whatever happens, the student will say, because I'm a female, you want to befriend me, that's why that he hates me. No, it's not like that. I went to the university where I was given 42% my project. I'm a man. Nothing happened to me. Later, I make it in life. So that's what I want to contribute.
Thank you very much, Geshine. Mr. Geshine, thank you. So let's talk to the issue of using the phone in class. So, as I said, this matter, until we get the full stories and maybe get the young man to say his own, Dr. Ariyo to say his own, we might not get the full story, but based on what we're seeing in the video is what we're discussing. But let us now isolate the issue of students, mature students, using their phones while their lecturers are lecturing in class. Now, I know that this is even a global issue because across the world, many professors are having issues with this modern times where students just feel at the liberty to use their phones. Somehow, as you said, somebody said here, you have the rules, you don't bring in phones, are not allowed. But how would you think we can address this matter? Because these are adults, these are not children.
Yeah, so first of all, you need to understand the century you're in. YK say we're not in the 21st in Nigeria. But we have states that are trying as much as possible to get children to use iPads in class. Lagos State did. I think another states too did, you know, where they have their tabs and all of that. Because now we're moving learning, we're making learning more digital. And so learning is moving. And I still struggle and to understand why our university system does not want to update and upgrade itself. We are still doing things like we are in the 19th or the 18th century in this modern time. And then you have children who are supposed to be preparing for the future, and you're stopping them from doing the thing. So for me, I think learning should be more interactional. You are not there to just sit down or stand and reel out what you have, copy on the board, and disappear. You make your students interact with you. So now that you know that everybody carries their phone, give them activities that they can do with the gadgets that they have in the classroom, and then you supervise. And that's what they do in modern schools today. You give activities, everybody, okay, go online, we're doing the research.
But are we considering that there are some poor students that don't afford phone, that can't afford?
There's
you from
no
a good
students in the university that don't
let's
have
not
a phone in
assume.
Nigeria.
Let's not assume.
Oh, God.
There's some people from poor homes who have struggled
That
to
doesn't
get
have
into
a
university, and the phone is not no, it's true. Let's be truthful to ourselves, because there are many students who are poor. Their family put everything together to get them into university.
I disagree.
And they're not like you that have a phone. It's the truth.
See, even the people who have the biggest phones in the universities don't even come from rich.
We can't make that assumption. Don't use Unilag
or
OAU.
You will go to the house is looking, the phone is bigger than the house they're coming from. Students
That's
find
generalizing
their way.
though.
Hold on. You cannot tell me that you don't have an Android phone. Nobody's saying you should get iPhones in the school. Android can do what the iPhone does in school. I've not seen any student who does not have who does not have a decent phone. Even if it's the uncle that buys it or the auntie that buys it, somebody gets them a phone. Every university student I know has a phone.
Okay, that you know.
Yes.
Thank God you don't know all of them.
Thank God you don't know all of them. And I believe that for you to get into the university system, you have a functioning phone.
Okay, so I don't. The reason why.
But now,
now, pause, Niba. My business boss. The reason why
small, those small phones.
Some students are truly
and they function.
Yeah.
I was
indigent.
Some of them even have WhatsApp.
Back then, we were raising school fees and law school fees for members of our group. Some people were so indigent, that we will go for lunch, and the leftovers of their classmates was okay.
Yes.
And I'm still friends with them till today. I know them, living human beings. People are in the university who are struggling to just get that degree and change the status of their family.
Yeah.
Most of them are struggling. The phone is the last.
There's a young girl that graduated who her mother was, I think was a tomato, she was selling fruits, and she came in. There's a possibility, yes, kids do things on the side, but there's some children that are fully indigent and they can't afford it. So to have a clear and same level playing field with every child, you can't assume that, let me give you activities that are going to be your phone. No. Let me to learn now. I let you learn before. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is that in the university, we can't assume everybody has a phone, number one. Number two, the use of phone in itself in the classroom, the question is it destructive? We understand the benefits of using a phone. However, if a lecturer says, in my class, I need you to listen to me, where we are discussing, we are having conversations, not you going to the phone and trying to research stuff. I want to hear you. Doesn't he have the right to insist that you can't use your phone in this classroom?
I started by saying that they have classroom rules. You make your rules at the beginning of the session.
And sadly,
you can insist.
It's not written down rules.
Let me pause you. I have to go on a break. We'll come back and thrash this properly. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So where I want us to have some kind of clarity on this matter, in this woke generation, in this modern generation where gadgets are the norm, everybody has a gadget, as we have said earlier, we have alleged earlier that many people have gadgets. Now, even in view of that, is it still okay for a lecturer to insist that I don't want your gadgets in my class? Yes, that might be his rule. But can we insist that, listen, I want to take my notes on my phone? If a student insists that, okay, you are lecturing, I want to be taking my notes on my phone, should that be wrong?
I don't think it's right. I really don't think it's right, because if you tell me you are taking notes on my phone and you are doing something else,
there's a possibility. I can't verify that.
I can't verify that you're actually taking notes or listening to me.
That's the danger.
I know a school that they give them all tabs to use. But the Students were using the tabs for,
Pornography.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they've taken away the tabs.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you cannot really say, oh, do you know how distracting it is? I'm talking to you and
You're doing like this.
Yeah.
it's distracting.
So let me say that.
Before I get your comment, let me take Chinwe. I'll come to you, busy. Chinwe, thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice speaking to you, lady. Okay. My take on this is, I live in a university community.
Okay.
Presently, I'm in the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi. So, concerning the topic you people are discussing this morning about students and the lecturer, and Obiajudu talking about students, some students is that it is not that she doesn't think any student, there's no student that does not have Android phone. My sisters, I live in a university community. There are students who don't even have this Nokia touch phone, not to talk of Android. Everybody is not rich. I live with them here. My husband lectures here. So I mix up with them, I see them. So on that topic of the students misbehaving in the class with the lecturer, I think the lecturer took it too far. And that student, you see them, they are too heavy this time. You see students being too headstrong. Don't do this, they will not agree. You see them shake, let's say, is it quacking shoulder with their lecturer? That is not right.
Yeah.
Please, you don't need to blame the lecturers every time, lecturers. Some of these students, if you mix up with them, forget about those days when we schooled. The present students that we have now, they are something else.
Thank you very much, Chinwe. Let me come to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chinwe.
Yes, so we have established what is right and what is wrong. We're just trying to expand the conversation. And I believe that every lecturer has a right to determine what applies in their classroom at the time that they come into their classroom. Also bearing in mind that this is not secondary or primary school, you are dealing with adults. If somebody insists, or this is how I want to do it, the person can walk out. You tell the person to walk out of the classroom. As simple as that. You don't need any physical altercation to do that. It even means that you have lost your power over the students. Because students know how to goad teachers. They will just be looking at you. We know how to trigger this person now to start acting in a certain way. And you should not be found doing that. Now, the university place is not where you hold young adults by the head and insist that they must go this way. Some of them did not come to school to study. And there's nothing you can do about it as a lecturer. So if we say no phones and somebody is sneaking to use phone, at the end of the day, result are, well, the person will do carryover. The person can say, instead of a course of staying for 3 years, the person will stay for 7 years. It's on them. We don't chase university students to conform to certain things. They are adults. And that's why they say at least you get to the age of 18 before you get into the university. And the certificate they give to us when we finish is that you have been able to conduct yourself maturely. And so we're presenting this certificate to you that you can go out into the world and flourish. So all those, we must insist, it's done this way, it's done that way. It's not for the university. The training we're supposed to be giving to these children is from nursery to primary to secondary school. When they get into the university, it is expected that they will know what they're supposed to do there. They will apply and follow their adults. They can take care of themselves. So all those
some universities in this country doesn't allow you to wear skirts.
All those
we have some universities in this country that they determine the kind of clothes you wear. So what would you say in that kind of
set standard of
Yes. There's nothing wrong in setting a standard. If you want to be in that school, you can be in that school. But in setting that standard, you cannot even overstifle the students from being young and exploring. Some of us went to school, lecturer teaching, we did not listen because we did not like the way the lecturer is speaking, or we didn't enjoy the course and all of that, and we found our way. So that insists that everybody must sit up straight and do their head like this, or else we're not teaching this class. I don't think it's the way to go right now.
Point taken. So
how into consideration that these people are adults.
So how do we now, therefore, based on what you just said now, how do we help our lecturers? Because the truth is that those lecturers we knew back then, and today, the students you are teaching them, they are different. So how do our lecturers who are still there, how do they teach this modern work generation? Because they are constantly headstrong, they are constantly challenging. Some of them maybe not even not as smart as they come across, but the truth is that they're actually constantly challenging the lecturers.
I wanted to even address the compulsion of or not of using devices in class. So back then, when lecturers, when we were even just using textbooks, some students couldn't afford textbooks. I couldn't afford some of my law textbooks. And so I spent my evenings at the law library. If you don't know it there, you have problems. There's no time when you had to bring it to class to show it off. But if a class had to hold on a device, some people will be there, will not have it, and you'll catch it up later. We made photocopies of lecture notes. I didn't used to write. Some students, as lecturers, say, hey, they're
writing, yes.
I can never catch up with any lecturer that is talking. I would listen because that's what I'm good at. And when I finish, I'll go and make photocopies of the people that know how to write and go and catch.
Or make notes of what you've heard.
Make notes of what I've... No, I've already captured what I will capture. I'll take your notes, I will blend, and I will confirm what I have learned. And that's how some people studied. Not that if today now, because we are now devised, we're in one modern world, like Kwake disagree, we're not in the 21st century. But a lecturer...
I didn't say we're not, I said Nigeria.
Yeah, the same thing, I will not be Nigerian. So if the lecturer needed to give his lecture via notes, you catch up. I didn't have an email in the university that time. So one lecturer came back from the US who had gone on sabbatical, and he said that our lecture notes should have been shared to us via email. Everybody can't look like this. Me and him are not saying a long thing. The moment he finished his lecture and left, what did he say? How did he say?
It happened to me when I got to the US, when I started in the US in the university. They will be sending assignments to my email.
You will see it.
I have no idea. I'll come to class.
I didn't know.
I'll come to class. Say, open the homework. I want to, which assignment? When they give us assignments? So you didn't get your email. It took a long time.
You agree with me?
But no, I understand the boy. See, it helped me to find and to solve my problem. Many people who don't know, they'll just leave everything and just abandon it. But I was resilient enough to go and find out how to solve my problem.
So in the university, you have study groups. Nobody needs to. You know why you came to school. You find people of like minds and you study. After school, then we used to have tutorials. So we share the topics. You teach this, you teach that. We meet in the evenings, and then while you are teaching, you are even understanding it better. You have study group. You cannot learn in isolation in the university.
I have to pause you. I have to pause. Let me go on a break. When we come back, we have not addressed that issue I've talked about. That these are challenging young generation that are constantly. Lecturers before you can't talk to a lecturer anyhow. But today, these ones are challenging lecturers because they have Googled it. What lecturer is, they say, they know. It's not like that. So how do you handle this generation of students? That's our conversation when we come back. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this issue of the lectures. And I say, how do you lecture a room full of Gen Zs? I think that's the question. How do you, especially because many of them, those who are airheads might just hear you out and just be aloof when you're talking. But those who are really smart can engage you by Googling or maybe researching further what you're saying and challenging certain things. And many distressed or lecturers who are having issues find it as an attack. It's communicated to them as an attack anytime a student tries to challenge them in the lecture room. So how do you manage a room full of Gen Zs who are just challenging everything you're saying?
You're in the business of researching. You're in the business of upgrading. You're in the business of informing. And a young person now comes and says, that's wrong, and you feel insecure about it. You're not fit for it. Because you would get that among your peers, lecturer, co-lecturers.
Anyway.
We are in a modern world every day. I don't know a lecturer who doesn't have thesis, who is not releasing papers, who is not doing write-ups. I don't know that kind of lecturer. Because you're constantly researching, constantly repositioning things and informing people. That's the business of lecturing. You would have those young ones come and say, that's wrong. I searched it somewhere. You will quote your source. you will tell your lecturer. The lecturer's business is to put it right. You expect, in fact, if you have a class full of maybe Gen Zs and you don't have that engagement back and forth,
You don't
know
have
that
a class.
you don't have a class. You yourself, you should be saddened. You know, so I don't expect any lecturer to be acting up over that. We have some tweets. Let me take Benga Ezike. He says, at least if the students can't afford laptop, they should know they need it, and phone can assist to some extent. Osholale says, while it's easy to blame lecturers for issues like this, forgetting that they are human beings, our Gen Zs must be admonished on what and how to behave in schools. I know some of our lecturers, you can't enter their classrooms once they've entered before you. And we know that one.
One of those that everything you once you enter a class, no Gen Zs, every little thing they're recording. Like this one right now, every small thing they're recording.
You can't record someone without their consent, especially in a classroom.
Oshulale. Have you read that one?
Osholale, yes.
Have you read it? I sensed confusion between.
No, I
Go
didn't.
ahead, okay.
I sensed the confusion between lecturing and teaching. For us to clearly differentiate between these two concepts, the mental capacity and attitudinal intelligence of the recipient must be judged. Habit is formed before university and values are instilled from home.
Prof says, no lecturer in the world will allow his class to be disrupted by a student or students who uses telephone during classroom. This one is not lecturing here. It's somewhere in Europe. Some record Instagram and TikTok videos live in classes or browse social media on their phones while in class. It is a disruptive and disrespectful move. Some students can give you mental health issues if you are not careful in a university setting.
Exactly.
There's no infinite freedom anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
If we say it is an adult world, it means students should behave like adults as well.
Exactly.
I agree
So,
totally.
in response to your question, I think we need to understand that the era of a lecturer or a teacher knowing it all is over. You will get into a class with students who know the particular topic more than you. And one of the ways that you can, assert your authority without asserting your authority, without raising your voice and showing I'm the person here, is to give them self-directed lessons, is to help take it back to them. So what we do is, when we were trained at the time, I've never lectured in a university before, but I have a friend who does, is that instead of coming, preparing your notes, you come, you stand the way they used to teach us back in the day, you come, you put the questions open. You assign them into groups. Let them brainstorm and come out. By the time you check what they have and what you have in the different groups, you will be amazed at the new information even you, the lecturer or teacher, has gotten. So give it back to them. These people are full of energy. So how you harness their energy in the classroom. One of the reasons that they disrupt is because they are bored most of the time. You talk, and they are listening. Some will doze off. We have people who will sleep off in the classroom. Some will find something else to be doing to engage them, finish and go so that I'll move on to the next class.
I
But
struggle.
hold on, if you engage them, you give them tasks. Your job as a teacher is to direct the learning. You supervise, and then you can correct one or two things and all of that. They are actively engaged. They look forward to your class because they know that you can call anybody to answer the question from this group. You can call anybody to represent and present from this group. Everybody's alert.
I struggle
and you
with
get
that.
a good class.
When I was in the US, I struggled with this system because of
That's what they were using there,
Nigerian
right?
mentality.
Yeah.
Because my mentality was, you teach me, I write notes, I study it.
reproduce
But now telling us, you give us credit, all of us are research, and
Start
not color,
thinking.
and now saying we're talking, I'm thinking,
What am I
you
doing?
know, it took me a while
To adjust.
to adjust because I felt drowned. While my colleagues were talking and discussing and engaging,
They were used to it.
They were used to it. I was lost for a while. It took me a while to adjust. But you see, the truth is that some people prefer to be lectured to. Teach me what you know.
You know, we have different learning.
They're different.
This used to cause
Yes,
some things.
yes.
And
Learning
then
styles,
talking
back.
about digital knowledge.
But I was even going to say that, even if I don't teach you like that, it doesn't give you the right to be rude to me.
Yes.
So I think that we have to draw that line where the student feels that they can, because someone is saying here that you don't lecture, you ask questions. You are not there to lecture your lecturer.
Yeah.
You ask questions. Even if the lecturer doesn't know, the lecturer will go back.
Yes.
So I think that we need to make sure that there is a
Mutual respect.
Yes.
So, but you don't ask question is scary for me. And that's why we are where we are as blacks, as Africans. We are not allowed to ask our elders questions. But every a part of the world that has developed is because they allow questions, because people have different intelligences. You as a lecturer, you must come prepared to the classroom, and you must be open to learning from your students. You can never know it all. You will have geniuses in that class. You have Olodos in the class. You have a mixed multitude in the class. Now, if you do something, it's like you are solving mathematics and you solve something wrong in the board. And because you are the lecturer and we're supposed to be in a culture of respect, somebody who spots that, this calculation is not adding up, cannot question you in class. And then you mislead the whole class. You've gone home. And people will write the exams and fail. So we should encourage asking questions. However, we should ask in politeness. It's like how our children annoy us most of the time these days. They are growing. Yeah. They ask us questions. Do this, do that. They say why. They will be giving you reasons. And you're like trying to shut them down. When I remember myself, I'm like, okay, I want to allow this child to ask questions and not shut the child down, because I will shut down their creativity.
Yes, but
okay, let me take this call.
Writing a maths problem, and the students
spots the mistake.
There's no harm in saying, sir, my calculation here
is different from yours.
Different from yours. That's a polite way.
Yeah.
You say, oh God, this is wrong.
Yes, and that's what Gen Zs do. No, we see that on social media now. Yeah. Once something happens, the way they insult you. So it's the decorum that we don't even teach our children how to behave in the classroom. Let me come to you, Nima, in a second. I have a call. Shehu, I believe. Is it Shehu?
Yeah, sure.
You're live. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I want to just make some points about the issue of the lecturer and the students. Now, when I saw the video, the lecturer was wrong, assaulting the students. But I graduated from school 2 years ago, and I know what my colleagues do when it comes to the issue of lecturers and students. Now, we talked about, you are talking about students asking questions. There's a difference between you asking questions and challenging your lecturers. Well, we have some students in class that they even know more than the lecturers. But the best thing to do is just ask questions in polite way. So I think this. Though we have some lecturers that they feel like you can't ask them questions, that's normal. But the student, but we need to consider the fact that this is Nigeria. We have our values, we have our culture. Yeah. Then specifically in OAU, their motto is for learning and culture. OAU lecturers, they value that culture. If you see OAU students, they will tell you culture and learning. Absolutely. Now, there's nothing bad if you switch off your phone. Okay, switch off the phone, then walk out and switch off, on your phone back. There's nothing bad in that. When I was in school, I had an issue with a lecturer. He said that we should not enter the class, and people were begging. And the man made a statement. He said, "If you don't leave that door, I would disgrace you." Immediately he said, I left. I left the place. And people that were there, the man was angry. I was like, I said you should leave the class, leave the door, you came late, stuff like that. And later on, the man called me back because I obeyed. And he said, you come back to the class. And I came back. So we need to understand that, see, some students, they are just, how would I put it, this generation, we are just something else entirely. Yeah. We need to respect our lecturers. Fine. Okay, let me just cite an example. When I did my teaching practice, and I was in class, I was teaching my students because as education students, we are taught how to control the class. And I was teaching my students, there's this specific lady in my class, she will not listen. Secondary student, she will not listen. She will not write notes. And later I discovered that this lady, maybe she has interest in a young guy just teaching it. He got it, I was just like, see, don't come to my class again. We know that you will not be obeying my rules and regulations. Just stay out. When I'm done with the class, you can call me. We need to set standards. Yeah. Even some lecturers will set standards as a student. They will tell the students, don't do this, don't do that. But some students will still not obey. Yeah. And if you got the time that, we just exactly. Like, if you can't obey my class, just get out of my class.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's part of the training, because as much as we see them as adults, but they are still forming. Yeah. They're not fully formed adults yet. They're not yet in the society. So we still need to form them where that they become more responsible adults in society.
The kind of training they get in primary school is for a primary school teacher. It's certainly not the same what they do in secondary school. Yeah. And it will never be the same with what he obtains in the university. You are not supposed to form an adult in the university. That adult is supposed to come and apply all the home training that they have and bring it into a formal setting. They will live here and go to learning. Also in their workplaces, they will be learning in a different method. So there must be a different way to comport. I'm not absorbing the students. Truly, how many minutes we use to switch off phone? But me gone, I will run. There's no way a lecturer can catch me near door. If I enter wrong class, I will be faster than the
disappear.
lecturer. I would have disappeared. I don't know why,
that story doesn't add up to me about him being in the wrong class. Because if you are in the wrong class, how did the teacher know the lecturer know your phone was on?
No, he wanted to make a call. So when he came into the class, so it's either maybe we don't know exactly the full story. I'm just speculating right here. So he came into the class. He now realized it's wrong. He tried to walk out. The guy called him, come back here. So was probably engaging, maybe trying to find out where he's from, what class he was going to. And then the guy, he was now standing by the door. He now carried the phone, he was now telling him that don't call anybody, bring your phone. Without challenging. That's why the back and forth was saying that I can't give you my phone.
He was saying switch off your phone.
So I think we also need to be, as lecturers, handling young children, we also need to be quick on our feet in terms of thinking of how best to handle these students. I think back in the day, we used to have, aside from your graded for your marks, you are graded for attitude and attendance. I don't know if they still have it. Yes. So you come to your class and you tell them, attitude is 20 marks or 30 marks. Your classroom attendance is either 20 marks or 30 marks. Then your coursework, the main work, is about 60 marks or 70 marks. However, you share it. Now, when a student decides to have cocoa head and disrupts you in class, and you have given like a warning, you've sent out, maybe they have that stubborn that they don't want to go out, by the time the attitude reduces the mark or the attendance reduces the mark, you will know that next time you behave yourself.
Assess attitude? Because, in schools, in universities, you're supposed to use matric numbers so that you reduce the victimization that happens.
Yeah, so you don't see the faces.
So you don't see the faces. So a student that comes to your class, if you are not a troublesome lecturer yourself, you're not supposed to know the name of a student.
I didn't know.
I had such an experience in 400 level where a lecturer said they should invite me. Well, I'm going to go shoot my head.
Can I read this?
They should invite me to see him at staff room. And I didn't want to go to any staff room to meet any lecturer personally one-on-one. So I refused to show up. And when they finally show.
For your results, how did he find you? They always find you.
I kept trying to fight that fight.
They find
because
you.
You're supposed to not know me.
No, you're supposed
to be by matriculation number.
You go cram
You're supposed to know me.
Let me take this.
Can I just
go ahead, Wike. I have a caller.
The world is changing. Gen Z's, AI, tech-enabled classrooms, etc. And our universities should lead the way in innovation.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, it's not the case. We have old hawks lecturing millennials. The age and approach gap is a problem.
Yes,
I agree.
This is from Franklin Benjamin Ono.
It is.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me pause you for a second. That's the point. That's the point. Let me take this one. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live. I'll come back to you right here. Hello. Good morning.
Hi. I think the issue that we have. Hello. Good morning. Can you hear
Good morning. Me? We can hear you. Go ahead, please. From Cambridge?
Can you hear me? Hello,
yes.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yes, I think the issue that most Nigerian universities have, because I was privileged to go to a university for 1 year in Nigeria, is the fact that most of the lecturers tend to put their ego before their work. You're dealing most of the time with 18-year-olds, young adults. So most of the time, if you have to teach, at least I have seen the difference between the two sides, is that you have to basically tailor to the student that you have. Yes, it might be a bit different sometimes when you're talking about, but certain rules within your class and making sure that the students obey those rules is what I think most Nigerian universities are lacking. With regards to the phone, I go to uni here, and I personally have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic. And most of the time, I record my lectures, and my lecturer cannot come at the end of the day to dictate to me how I should learn. I can only basically conduct way, and the university lets me record these lectures. I am able to use my phone to make notes and do whatever I want, as long as I am not stifling the learning of another student. I don't see how, at the end of the day, in the world that we live in, a lecturer or a university will bring the rules and say, do not use your mobile phone. It is actually, you can only say to them, okay, do not use your mobile phone if at the end of the day, it is going to disrupt the learning of another person. Because you attacking me during lecture and telling me not to use my mobile phone is you disrupting your own class. So you can as well just have your lectures, basically teach and do what you have to do and move on. If I don't peak, I don't peak. If I peak, I peak. But it's about just, at the end of the day, respecting me as an individual and my own learning needs. And then I would also respect you as a lecturer by not disrupting your class. I want to give an example. Most of my lecturers here do not let you come into the class 15 minutes after they've been in. They give you that grace period, and we all respect it. So if I'm running late for a lecture and I know that I will not get there 15 minutes colleagues and be like, you know what did they teach? But
Okay.
that's me respecting them.
Thank you
And I
very
think
much.
It's also them respecting.
Thank you very much. Okay, but you see, in Oge's case, I can see, obviously, this is a student that wants to be in school. Many of our Gen Zs have that mentality of who education help. They're probably there because parents sent us to school. Because our daddy said we have to be here. I'm not here because I want to be here. I'm rather going to be in the studio recording more music. I have my friends. But I'm here because, listen, they say we should have education, have degree. So they don't want to be there. So they're not here to learn from any lecturer. They're just here while away time. And if the lecturer says something, they feel they can joke and laugh with you or challenge you or just be disruptive or frustrate the man. Because they don't really want to be in the school. Because they're even making better money because they're driving better cars. And a lecturer, they're already doing businesses on the side that are bringing money. So to them, the lecturer is not teaching them anything. I'm just here to while away time. So you're different from an Oge who is schooling in Cambridge and understand, okay, she's using her phone, but she's there for a different reason. Somebody else say, I'm here just to while away time. Those are Gen Zs.
You would always, yeah.
Our university is Cambridge.
Yes.
That's 21st century. In fact, they are going to another century. Go there. Yeah, see, this is Nigeria. Let us wear the cloth that fits us. I'm not going to compare any university in Nigeria to a Cambridge, for instance. Even the private ones, because I know that there are some private ones that they make them wear uniform.
Yes.
In fact, when I even uniform in university, and when I tried, they said, "Come on, shut up, it's Nigeria." I kept my mouth shut.
Yes, because we're growing at our own pace.
We are
We're developing at our pace.
So in our own country, you can't carry phone, no.
In our class, so.
In our class.
You cannot carry phone because not everybody is like Oge.
Yes.
A lot of us are not there yet mentally. Go ahead.
Ariyo, there are a lot of Gen Zs I've seen who know what they want.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Who want to go to the school, who want to become medical doctors, become lawyers. I still see them, they are not going there because they are forced to go there. We need to understand that we must have a mixed multitude. Even in our time that we were not Gen Zs, we had people who were not serious. Millennials. We have people.
I wanted to confirm that you knew what you were.
Of course, I will know what I am this modern day. Please, I'm raising.
I don't know
I'm raising
what I am,
alphas.
though.
I know we are millennials.
I don't know.
We are millennials.
Okay, we are millennials, yes. So, but what's your own?
We are baby boom.
Baby boom.
Baby boom.
Bloomers. Is
generation.
it the
Baby
bloomers?
boom.
60
No,
years.
baby boom. Baby boom.
Baby
We
boom.
bloomers.
No, boom. Boom.
It's boom.
Can we move on, please?
Okay, so we must have, in our time, we had people who were not interested. In fact, you don't see them in class till it's time to write exams. I don't know how they do their reading. I don't know how they do anything, but they show up, write exams, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
We had people who were already working. I had a classmate who was already working in Shell at the time, studying political science with me. He doesn't show up. He just comes once in a while and all of that. We had people who will come and stay at the back. They are just gisting what does not concern lecturer. And lectures are going on. The people who are interested in reading and studying will find a space in the front and in the middle, and they will pay attention. So the thing is to know what you're going there to do. Do you want to waste your time? You can, the university system will allow you waste your time. There are lots of activities that will waste your time for you. Do you want to learn? You will learn. And for all these students who don't want to go to school, who tell their parents, maybe I want to learn a skill or something, and they're forcing them to school, stop forcing them. Allow the child to do what they want to do.
Okay, let me take Perfect. Thanks for calling Perfect.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, you're live. You're live. Perfect. Go ahead, please. Can't hear you.
Network is breaking. Okay, so let me take to
go ahead.
it. Bilki says, I think lecturers need to upgrade beyond knowing their course content. Emotional intelligence is an essential skill to handling Gen Z's daring or non-conformist behavior. They should go for periodic trainings because time is changing. Andrew says, that's why I'm an advocate of passing A levels before seeing the door of a university in Nigeria, rather than going through the prelim routes.
One of, this is from Alaji. He says, one of my all-time newspaper cartoons was during the COVID. A kid gleefully remarked during holding his phone, before now, they used to punish us for bringing our phones to school and even seize the phones. Now the school is inside the phone.
Good Beat says, I went to university in the UK. Phones are not allowed in class.
Franklin,
Let me take Hassan. Good morning, Hassan. I'll come to you. Good morning, Hassan. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Likely,
May God bless you. May God bless your wisdom. You see, you being there is a plus. Because you said something that called for my attention. We should wear clothes that fits us. We are Nigerians. I'm not here to back the lecturer. I'm here to scorn our so-called undergraduate students of nowadays. They lack discipline and self-decorum. And we should be able to face it head on so that we can have good future leadership in future. Because what you are seeing now, in our university, you dare not confront a lecturer. You dare not talk nonsense to him. What I'm saying, people are trying to do a sort of struggling between the right and morality. No. A lecturer has a right to set a standard in his classroom. It is not for you to on a phone. It is not for you to make a call. Look, the worst that can happen to that lecturer is to be reprimanded. Nothing further than that. You understand? Because he acted out of his mind. And no much punishment can be applied to that lecturer. But that student should be worked on. And people, Obafemi have been saying something. You will say one thing here, you will say another one here.
Yeah.
You will go again, and you will support here. Look, let me tell you. You see these students, you as a mother, don't take anything from your children because you are there as a leader. Don't take anything from them.
Thank you very much. I didn't hear half the things you said.
Yeah. So let me just read this. Where is it to? It says when you are paying 60K pounds in a university, when you pay 60K pounds, you go learn past learning. That's the one going to Cambridge.
Yes, yeah. So we are all sitting here blaming Gen Zs. How did we raise them? Because the child's character is totally formed before they are 12. So what job, how did we do the job as parents? I went to the university where there were well-behaved students in school. Nobody needed to chase them to go to their classes or do what they were sent there to do. I also saw other people who were not behaved at all. They didn't care. So the question is, how did they form that character before going into the university? It's not the university that you start forming a child's character. They were formed from home. So let us also hold the one that's consensus. How are we forming the children that we have? Do we have children who their parents, their teachers come to complain to us and we ignore it and say, I beg? And we talk about the teachers so bad in the house that the child picks that up. When the child gets into the university and starts manifesting tomorrow, you will say they are Gen Zs. But how did you raise them? So let's look inwards. What kind of reports do we have for our children from their schools today? That will tell us how they are going to behave in the universities. And let's start working on that behavior today. Everybody's here. We are shouting Gen Z, Gen Z. This generation, our mother's generation, YK's generation, raised these Gen Zs that we have today. So we need to be questioning you people.
No.
How did you raise us?
I raised a millennial. And she's very...
Okay, you raised the millennial.
I raised the millennial, so she's very polite.
Who raised the Gen Zs that we have today?
Well, it's we millennials.
No, my child is not up to Gen Z yet.
Never reach.
It's alpha.
Anyways, let's not be so Nigerian by pointing fingers. Wait, somebody's fault. We all have responsibility. Yes, go ahead.
Let me take this tweet and I need to
please, and there are many I need to take.
Oluwatosin Olaniru says, I haven't seen the video, but according to your discussion, the lecturer overreacted. But I will still blame the student no matter what. Learn to bow to elders. This one. That's why we are here. This one is why we are here. That's what they used to say in Yoruba land. There's no one island of knowledge. There's no one island of knowledge. Yeah. If you want respect, you give it. As the students came in, excuse me, why are you in my classroom? Oh, sorry, I missed my way. Okay, please step out. You're distracting my class. Conversation
simple.
Ended. Conversation over. Why do you want to do this? I want to do this. Why do you want? I want to do that.
Then now ego.
Beat me phone. I said, police officer, stop. I now brought out. We were now having exchange. Next, he say, I say, you don't.
You don't.
He say, I'm not your mate. I said, how do you know? Because I'm a woman. I'm even older than you. I said, Koya, bring your certificate. Let's prove it. Because I don't get it.
On the road.
How that conversation take consign concern age. Simple conversations.
I'm
People
telling you.
bend it out.
To
of
get
proportion.
respect, you give
Yeah,
respect.
you give
Right, let me let you jump in.
Oluwaseun Olatunde says, YK Abina, our education is free. Any free thing, they abuse. Superboy says, lecturer lacked maturity, emotional intelligence, and restraint. He could have been lynched by the class. You have no right to lay your hands on your student. It's an assault.
Very, very wrong.
Yeah.
And as a national...
You know, that thing you said earlier, we all want quality education in Nigeria, but yet we're not willing to pay for it. Ordinary to increase school fees now, the whole of Nigeria. So the truth is that these lecturers who are not being earned, we're not earning like the Oxford guys, they're not earning like the Cambridge guys. How do you expect them to behave? They also have their own repressed regression that they are waiting to unleash. So it's a cycle that everybody has a fault somehow, somewhere. They're all part of this problem. Because there's no way in the world that education is affordable. Everybody has to pay something. But here, only in Nigeria, you have somebody finished from medical school here with nothing from his family. Go abroad and start earning $100,000 or $200,000 a year. And he has his counterparts who are there struggling to pay back their school loans. And he's there lounging.
The expensive school fees here. They don't have freedom. Or official Lilkud says, I'm a student of a private institution. In my school, phones are strictly controlled. My class is not a B class, so it's like being in an upgraded secondary school.
Wow.
There should be church.
Imagine this lecturer was in an air-conditioned, imagine this guy was in an air-conditioned hall where there's light, is well lit. You have these nice, these modern boards, projectors that you're using, and the kids are coming in there, and he comes in late. You won't be aggressive, and you're being paid well. Your research is being seen around. You have a nice, good car. You will not be angry. That aggressive. In fact, did you see his shirt was wearing? Usually lecturers wear suits, I think. But good.
No, in that heat.
Okay, sorry. So the point is, there's a lot of factors. There are lots of factors that could have caused that aggression we saw in the lecturer.
He's not
so you can't compare it to the Cambridge.
He's not doing that room business.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that sometimes.
I'm not collected.
Or maybe the girlfriend did not allow.
That's why girlfriend broke up with him before he came to class.
Time Media says, in grammar schools in the UK, your phone must be out of sight throughout the day. In the uni, having your phone to sight is considered rude to the lecturer. At work, some offices consider phone as a taboo.
Yeah.
So you see, there are different rules
in different places.
I think where the lecturer erred was his overreaction.
Yeah, reaction.
Yes. Yeah. By even laying his hand on the student.
Totally wrong. That's an assault, automatic assault. Jeff from I think it's Zamfara. Good morning, Jeff. From Kaduna. I do apologize. You're live.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, Niman have really said a lot of things that I want to say. I want to contribute about the issue on ground. What I was not, I don't know is that if the lecture was going on when the students get into the class. So when I don't know if the lecture was going on when the student gets into the class to discuss.
Possible, we don't know. I'm not sure.
That student. And I don't know, again, it might be that the lecturer is angry and it could be an issue of transfer aggression.
Yeah.
So, but whatever it is, just as Ibe Uju was saying, has made a lot of examples.
Thank you very much.
This is a university, not a kindergarten or secondary school, that you would just be bundling a mature person, pushing the person out of the class. It is uncalled for. Whatever it is, you just talk to the student politely, hello, leave my class. Even if the guy tries to prove stubborn, you can call on the security or whatever. Please get this person out of my class. So they both have
faults.
blame.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, let's not forget our culture in everything. Our culture is very important, and how we uphold the culture and how we teach our children to respect people goes a long way. So that advice you are giving to that child, enforcing that they are able to respect. When the child gets to the university, nobody would remind the child to, respect the lecturer, to respect these, what do they call them? Those other non-teaching staff that they see. You will see that respect exude. So, but when you condone that disrespect because you feel you are in a certain place where the teacher is lower than you, that's what they are also going to take into the university. So we need to be very careful about that. And
I'm not commenting. Anybody want to wrap up soon? Any comments on social media?
I think that there's something really about our culture that I like. If you, a young person or even an elder person, you enter a room where there are people, it's very common. It's courtesy to greet.
Yeah.
You know, but in Igbo land,
if not in the 21st century, in the YK, don't
didn't say we should not
confuse.
greet, oh.
Don't
no,
confuse
I said
matter.
we are not. Oh.
We didn't
No,
say
I
we
thought
should
you wanted
not
us to be. So we should all not
No,
enter hotel. and-
so that we can have lights. But when we start working, because
Choose your hustle. You want light or you want to greet
I
people?
want good roads.
Choose your hustle. You want light or you want to be able to greet people and
I want
respect?
good roads. I want lights and I want water.
Yes, and
We
you
don't
don't
want to-
greet people.
And I will still greet people.
Yeah.
They want to merge the
That's our
cultures.
culture. No, it's not merging the
Abel, let
culture.
me say
It's
this.
maintaining our
Okay,
culture.
don't kiss somebody.
Countries like Korea and other places
are
maintain
very
their
polite.
culture. They are very polite. They are very respectful. They respect their parents, grandparents, and all of that. And they do that publicly. And yet,
And
they
they are
are
very-
still growing in technology and everything. So we can
Now
merge the
then they for
cultures together.
France. China come.
Oh.
China, they say
Okay,
they,
so it's only lights that will determine. I mean, yes,
with
okay.
lights, with lights. You will
Please, can we not
develop.
change the subject? Can we focus on this matter of
Well,
culture?
today has closed.
Because
Wait,
somebody is asking.
It's time to
but
go.
there is even the
Time to close.
might
It's time to close.
take it
That is
I want
all
to know that they are
we can take on today's
Mariah,
show.
you don't want me to read this thing
That's
for
all.
you.
Hope you've learned a few things as we have. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Okay, God will not let you catch that tweet. God will not give you that quiz, guys. Bye, people. Bye-bye.